Click Dork back again. Today we're filming Dorkcast episode 23. The title for this one is Decentralized Management, which may seem a little bit weird, but we'll get into that in a minute. Before I introduce my guest today, I've got to share that there was a time when I was doing generative AI art that I think all of you know that I love doing. And I was really into steampunk stuff. I generated adorable steampunk meerkats. How cute is that thing? You would totally go see a movie about that guy if I gave him a name. I even generated dragon cuckoo steampunk clocks. I had steampunk cheetahs that were train conductors for steampunk trains. I really loved the look and feel that generating steampunk stuff came up with. So when my guest today, Igor Alcantara, sent me a variety of pictures to choose from for his profile shot, I was like, yes, we're going with the steampunk shot. Igor, it is a pleasure to have you. And I am guessing that this is not what you wear to the office every day. Is that right?
Not every day, no, just once in a while.
just once in a while to really gain attention. And
Yes.
Igor, you are the director not only of data science, but also education services with IPC. Are both of those things that IPC is pretty well known for?
They are. I mean, education. I mean, we're for many years. Maybe we still are. I believe we still are. The top click partner in training, in education. I myself travel 26 states, giving trainings to many customers, not only our customers, sometimes a lot of times they click, call us, hey, can we short in instructors, can you guys fly to this location, give the training? In parallel to IPC years ago, before moving to the US, I was a college professor. And so education, it was always a passion, and also data science. My master's was all in data science, and so they're kind of two different hats, pun intended, and but both my passions. As Click is another one.
Nice. And we kind of connected online because I saw a lot of your data science posts, and hint, when I was a customer of Click many years ago, I still had some hair at the time even, I actually took my first Click training classes from IPC. And it obviously worked out really well for me. So y'all do provide some excellent training. For those of you who are multitaskers, please feel free to grab a screenshot of this. Reach out, connect with Igor now. You've got his information on LinkedIn there. You got the website for the company that I'll share again once we're finished. And of course, you've got his Twitter handle here. And Luzzyfuge, I'm not guessing that's some generative AI algorithm. You have that name for a reason. What's that, Igor?
I'm sorry,
the Luzzyfuge.
Oh yeah. So that was a name that I use in still use sometimes when I have time, do online games, in a previous life, long time ago. And when I created my first personal email in the 1990s, it's a funny story. Long story short, my initials are IRA, so I use my initials because my first name, last name, they're all taken. I'm not Irish; they're just my initials. And when I created my email, I'm a big fan of the Beatles. As you can see in the background of the picture, there's a frame the first album of the Beatles. Actually, this first edition from 1963. And I was listening to the White Album, a song called Revolution. So I created my email, IRA Revolution, not thinking about what could mean. Then I, many years later, went to England and I had trouble. I mean, they let me in because I'm clearly not Irish. So I explained the coincidence, and okay. So then I said, well, let me create another email because I don't want to get into trouble. So I had these online gaming nickname that I used. But there's like I don't remember where it was from a graphic novel. It was a character, like a minor character from an like indie graphic novel that I read in the late 1980s, beginning 1990s, so a long time ago.
Nice, nice. I do online gaming with people from around the world, and it is fun to see character names that are used. It's like, no, their mom or dad did not give them this name. This is something very unique.
Oh yes.
So Igor, I'm so glad you took the time to spend with me here today. Um, I know you've got some really cool things to show me. Kind of give the audience a a hint of what it is. What's the overall objective of what it is you're going to be showing us?
So what I'm going to show us is actually not something created by any of my departments, but our product development department. And we truly believe in like lead by example. So before we like develop a product and sell our product, we use ourselves just to make sure is this actually helpful? Is this useful? And one scenario that we had was the client where they have like this hybrid. It's actually very common. This hybrid environment. They go into the cloud, but they're not entirely in the cloud yet.
Yeah.
For example, I'm working with a client right now that all of the activity builders are in ClickView still. They have some of their apps in ClickSense Prem, and the new apps are developed in the ClickSense Cloud. But some of the apps, they are developed in ClickSense Prem, and then they are duplicated to ClickSense Cloud. So there's all of these different scenarios. Or sometimes they basically have two ClickSense environments. They have like dev and production, or three.
Yep.
And how you move the applications from one to another, or even how to you backup applications and you put like in a GitHub folder, then it's later pushed to a repository, things like that, different scenarios. Then our product development department developed a product that it was intended initially, and still is, for like system administrators and developers to work with. And then we're using we like increasing the time to do this kind of work by like something that will take like days to do it, then we're doing like within minutes or hours. And automated some of these tasks. Then we decided, why not make this a product? So we created documentation and all, and then package as a little nice product, and then offer to customers, which I know a lot of them are currently using and happy with it.
Nice. And I can't wait to see it. So kind of to summarize that, you've got customers very decentralized in what it is that they do. Because there's some things that are still very well suited for ClickView. So you got customers still using ClickView, and then they take some of the data files that they've transformed, they move them maybe to ClickSense on-prem to take advantage of some different roles and responsibilities of what people could do in ClickSense that's different than what end users could do. And then even move some of those applications to the cloud, because there's things that people could do in the cloud that's even different from on-prem or from ClickView. And that's very common. That is not unusual. But I started as a ClickView admin, and boy, life was easy. There's like a hand. Oh, I got to add a user today. Oh no, I got to put my add user hat on. Oh, I have to schedule a task to run. Oh no, I got to put that hat on. And that was about it in terms of administration, short of obviously running applications to track telemetry to find out how things were being adopted, how many personal pages were out there in those ClickView apps that could then, sometimes get quite large because people would create sheets that they never got rid of. But other than that, life was easy. And then came around this whole hybrid world, very decentralized, because we've got different types of users that are in different environments. And so I see a big need for that. So when I heard what y'all had, I simply had to see it, and I figured, well, while I'm in my data cathedral here in Gainesville, Georgia, seeing it, I might as well share it with the world, like people like to do with cathedrals anyway. So do you have some slides to start us with to kind of give us an overview, or do you want to just jump right into demo?
I'll say let's just jump right into it.
Well, if you're going to twist my arm, okay. I've stopped sharing. You feel free to share your screen, and let's dig in, my friend.
Let's do it. So let me start. There you go. You can see my screen, right?
Yep.
So we can start by simply, if you go to the, and I'll go like start from the beginning, how you get to the product page, download the product, access documentation, etc.
Okay.
So in the IPC Global website, ipc-global.com, it is one option. So it's if you go to under solutions, the name of the solution is, if I go here, actually, it's even better, even easier. What do we do? If you go to all we do, we have the in process app operations. So that is, you can go there and you access the product page, or you can simply Google it or Bing. Now it's becoming popular again. In process app operations, and you send you right to it.
Okay.
So in process, just as why is in process? Well, IPC stands for in process consulting. That's the name. That was our initial business, like 20 something years ago, before we worked with BI. So if you go to in process app operations, then that's the product page. You can start a free trial, and then with the free trial, you basically will fill out a form, and then you can download the product. There's no installation needed. Just download a zip file, you extract it, and you're good to go. And
so anybody looking can just go to your in process page, start the free trial. They don't have to add like no click Dork promo code or anything like that to get it for free.
No, and then you will only receive like a your like account codes, like a license in your email, and then I'll show you how you set up that in a config file. Again, this is designed for system administrators, developers. So, but it's simple. There's a small JSON config file that you set up, and very easy to use command line. And we have all the documentation. So if you click,
tech to me, I want to see this JSON file. This is awesome. All
right. So and then if you
how
click
long
download,
does the free trial last?
It's 7 days.
7 days.
Yeah, which is, I mean,
more than enough time to try.
Yeah, I mean, you can. There was some customers, they only need to do one-time migration. They download the free trial, they never contact us again, and it's fine. I mean, as long as it helps you. We're more interested in people that using this to automate some of these hybrid environments. And another example that I can give you that just came out of my mind, one of our colleagues, they were working in an environment where the developers work in a ClickSense on-prem and the end users use the Click Cloud. So they develop in one platform, and then once applications are ready, they move to the other platform using this. So so if you click download now, it basically will download a zip file. And if you go to documentation, you got all of the documentation here, like how to install, the licensing, and everything. It's a pretty detailed documentation. But don't worry about going to the documentation. I'll go show you the steps, with the exception of one thing that I'll come here just to show you a few examples where you can find.
Okay, perfect.
Now, before we go to the actual process, let me explain the process or the problem that I'm trying to solve. So I have a on-prem environment, and let me go to the QMC, and I have a few applications that I want to first to download, and then later I want to upload to another environment. So if I go to apps, I filter by only applications that I owned, and actually they're all in my personal space, and only applications that has the word hospital on it. So I only own the hospital applications that I have. I could do all applications, but this is the scenario I have. So I want to download this application from ClickSense on-prem.
Now, you chose to show these hospital ones because you know I'm an old-time healthcare guy, right?
Absolutely.
Just
And I mean, me too.
Talk me with healthcare apps. I like it.
Me too. Interesting that before I went to computer science, I did a medical school for 4 years, but it was not my thing. I like it, but it was not as much to become a medical doctor. So I quit in the 5th year, then went to computer science. And now I get to do both because, as we work a lot of healthcare, not only, but we'll work a lot of healthcare. So that's the first step that I want to do. And then once I have those files downloaded, I want to perform another app operations, that's the name of the product. And I want to upload it to my cloud environment under my personal space. So this is basically the task that I have. Manually, I'll have to export each one of those. And then I'll have to come here, upload them. So we can make this much simpler. If it is one-time work, one-time job, it's not a big deal. But if you want to automate that, if you want, for example, integrate that with your ticketing system, let's say you have ServiceNow or Jira or whatever, and I click a button, then I want to call a script that will do all of this task, then you can plug this into whatever process you have and have these automated.
Gotcha. Right. Yeah. And I think that's a good distinction for you to make. There's obviously people are going to say, look, I've got these 7 apps. I'm going to move them up there. I'm going to be done with my on-prem. That's not likely the more common use case where I'm going to continue using these.
Yeah.
And I need to do some kind of automation to keep things in sync. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If that's your use case, feel free to download it, the free version. You have a week to do it, and then it's free.
All right.
So before doing that, because the first time after I install everything, so that's basically the application folder. I downloaded the zip file and I extract the zip file. That's what I have.
Okay.
That's an executable. It's a command line. So we get to the command line in a minute. But what I need to set up is this JSON file. So I have that JSON file opened already, just to save us some time. And then we can go over. Is this big enough, or do you want me to increase the font size?
No, that's fine. No.
Okay.
I can see that fine.
So you receive an email with your account number. So basically, you will fill this out. So this will all be blank. I mean, all these parameters will be blank,
right?
With the exception of the port number, but everything else will be blank. So basically, you fill your account number. So every time you use the product will check against your license based on your account number, and then you'll be allowed, if it's you in the free period, or if you purchase a subscription, or not to use it. So that's how it works. And then you have your connections. So once you open a blank JSON file, this is what you will find. One ClickSense connections with all of these blank, of course.
Right.
And then you just fill those out.
Okay.
But I have 2 connections. So I basically copy this set of curly brackets.
Okay.
I just put a comma to indicate that I have 2. I copy and paste, and I created I set up my second connection.
Okay.
Why do I have
and
2
you
connections? As many
2,
as you like.
5, 10.
Yeah,
Because
as many
you
as you
have
like. There's no limit,
you have
not limiting the
R&D,
licensing.
test, dev, prod,
Yeah.
as many as you need. You might have multiple tenants.
Yes.
So you just copy the same block, and you just need the security information for each one, and then you give the connection the name that makes the most sense.
Yeah. So, and I have two options here that I want to show how we can authenticate. So this is the prem. I just call it prem. I recommend like giving like short names because you have to type this in the command line. So just to make your life easier. This is on prem. So I decided to set up the connection using like a domain username password connection. So my domain name, my username, my password. Remember, this will be it could be in a server, but it will be in your machine. It could be your username and password. It could be a service account, username and password, whatever makes sense. What is the URL for the server, which is basically the URL of the ClickSense server.
Makes sense.
So you got that. Everything else you can leave it as default. If you want to connect to a specific virtual proxy, that's for like more custom system admin task, then you can put in here. If you have a specific certificate path, whatever you need extra, you can put it here. But these are very, very rare. Most of the time, that's all you need.
But you obviously have some customers running this that you needed to have those special parameters for.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
And before I forget, you are going to change your password as soon as you're done with this webinar, right?
Oh, this is not my real password.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is not my real password.
Okay, good.
And then I created one to the cloud. I could do the same username, which is a cloud, so it will be my email, my password.
Right.
But I think it's simpler and more secure if I use an API key. So the API key, it's something that you generate to your user. So if we go to, real quick, if you go to the cloud and the QMC, there's API keys, and then you generate a new API key, you give any name you want, and then once you generate it, you need to retrieve it. Once you generate it, after it's created, you cannot retrieve it again for security reasons. So you copy that API key.
And it's a big, long string, so don't be surprised when it looks very long and it doesn't even fit on a screen.
So that I'm not worried about changing or not, because first,
that's like half of it. Yeah,
it will expire later today, and second, you're not able to see the whole string. It's very long.
Cool.
So I set up my connections, then I'll set up my export and import profiles, and you can have multiples.
Okay.
But in this case, I only have one export profile and one import. What is my export profile? Is what do I want to do with the data that I'm downloading to my server or to my computer? So these are the files, in this case, that I'm getting from the premise tenant. So then you give a profile name, which is, I call it prem backup. App title filter, hospital. This uses regular expression. So if you know regular expression, then you can use this. It is case sensitive. It could not necessarily. I mean, if you can use regular expression not to be case sensitive. But I simply type the word hospital. So you search the word hospital within the app name and with the capital H. Okay. Stream filter. I want only to get the applications from my personal, for my work stream. Okay. So you basically put your user ID. That's how you get internally, that's how Click names your work stream in Prem. Then I have the skip data true. So just bring me the applications with no data. Destination folder. It's where you want to save those files. So I have a destination folder, which now we can get to that, which is here. It's empty. So this is a folder that I have that is all empty. Okay. And the app JSON list. So this is basically, it's a file. It's a JSON file you point. It doesn't exist yet. And I put it in the same folder. Okay. And that file basically will be a JSON file that this application will create and it'll have the list of applications that you've downloaded.
Okay. And so
So
I could have multiple export profiles where my
yeah,
healthcare apps go to one subdirectory, finance goes to another subdirectory, revenue cycle goes to one subdirectory, supply chain goes to a subdirectory, blah, 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 blah. If that's what we chose to do, right?
yes, that is correct. And then I got the skip confirmation. If I have this true, it will download the files without asking me anything. But I recommend having this as false, which is the default. It means it will show you the list of files and will ask you for confirmation. Then you hit yes, and then
Okay.
if you hit yes, it will complete the download. And file name pattern, if you want to rename the files to have a specific pattern. What do I mean? Now let's go back to documentation. You don't need to memorize all of that. We can go to the documentation, and I can go to the app export profile, which is what we are doing now. And then it explains everything, and then it has the
Nice.
how we can rename those files. So I can have, these are like some of the keywords you type it. So let's say I want the ID of the file in the name, or I want the app name, or I want the stream, or I want the year, month, day, hour, minute, second, owner ID, etc. So these are the keys we can use. So I can have something like app, year, month, day. So let's say I'm doing a backup, for example. So I can come here and I can say app name underscore year, all in curly brackets, underscore month. Let's say I do this once a month, dot QVF.
So when you say once a month, you've got customers who are literally just using it as a backup.
Yes, that is correct.
Rather than manually going out there and right-clicking in every single one of them in the QMC.
Yeah. If you leave it blank, you simply keep the same name.
Okay.
The name of the application will be the name that you downloaded. So once you do that, then we're ready. Of course, I need to remember to save this, and then we'll be ready. Now, actually, let me remove this. Let's just skip the default. So then we can.
Okay.
Let's skip the default. And then we have the import file. It's now, I want to send these files and upload it to another environment. This is simpler. What is my profile name? Where do I get the files from? So it's the same as my destination, because I want to download from here and upload from here. Download to here and upload from here. What is the JSON file name where I'm getting the list of files from, which is the same of this, because I want to get the same list of files that I exported. If you want to do any app name pattern, just like this, and if you skip confirmation, if you change this to true, it means it will just upload without asking. So once I have those, set up, I'm ready to play with the tool. All right. So it seems complicated but it's really not. And if you have any trouble working with this, I mean, it's all in the documentation with examples and all of that. So it's.
Now let's go back to that JSON for 1 second. I've got one question for you that I would think that if I was using this, I would probably want to take advantage of. The file name pattern, I could probably do something like the squiggly bracket stream / app name, so that if I was pulling apps out of a lot of streams, I could have a subfolder for each one of those stream names then.
That is correct, yes.
Cool.
Now, are you ready to see how this works?
I'm chomping at the bit here, buddy.
All right, so let me go back to the folder. Actually, let me open a second folder here. So keep this folder. This is where the files will be saved. But let me go back to the application folder. Where is this one here? So I need to open the command line.
Okay.
So let me simply come here, type CMD. There's a little shortcut. Then it opens CMD in that folder.
What?
Nice, right?
I
Pretty
never
nice.
knew that.
It's pretty nice, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Windows
That was worth
tried
the price of admission today.
right? So that's the name of the application, in process app operations. So I don't know what to do. So just type the name of the application, in process app operations, and then just 2 hyphens, help / help, and you get the help that shows
Okay.
what you can do. So you can use the command app export, app import, or list subscription access, list subscription usage. But these are the 2 ones that we want, the app export and app import. So I can try the app export first. So, but let me.
Yeah, let's bring up the other Explorer window.
Yeah. So that's the one that is empty.
Yeah.
But before performing anything, let me type app export and also the 2 hyphens help. So you also have the help for that. So you can go documentation, or it's all here. And if you use to like command line, is pretty straightforward. So it says here, if I check the help, if you go to a place where it says usage, is how you use it. So
yep.
You need the in process app operations, app export, and then you need the connection name and the profile name.
Okay.
Those 2 that we created. So my connection name, if we go back to the JSON, I want to download from Prem. So my connection name is Prem. And my profile name is Prem Backup.
Okay.
So those are the 2 that I want. So you type here, let me maximize this, Prem as my connection, space, Prem Backup as my profile. And then you hit enter.
Cool.
And then we'll check your license. I have an active subscription. And then it didn't perform any task. I only listed the apps that matches my search criteria and in the app name and in the stream. So it found these apps. So 7 apps. These are the apps. So the app name, the ID, what stream was found. And then he asked me, do we want to proceed? Because the skip confirmation, I set that parameter to false. So he asked me for confirmation. And let's say yes. So hit yes. And then it's performing the task. If I go back to that folder, you will see that the files are being downloaded. And after it's completed, we'll create a file list JSON, which is this one here. It's basically a JSON file with the list with all the 7 files here.
Okay.
So I can have multiple files here, but the only ones that you will then later upload are the ones listed here. Pretty simple. Also good because you can load this JSON file in a Click app just to have like a status report or something showing these applications were moved, and it has all information you need. So you can have like a report of what's going on.
I like it because you could, you could use that as an audit trail.
Exactly.
Can you go ahead and open that file and show us what's inside of it?
Absolutely. So I got when this ran. So it's today, this hour, this minute, and this second, and these are the apps, and there you go.
Nice.
So that's
and of course, if I exported 10, but I only want to move 8 going forward, I could just come in and remove 2 of these apps.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yes.
Nice setup.
Yes. So then I want to send this to the cloud.
Right.
So it's very simple, but instead of calling the app export, I will call the app import. And it's the same idea. What's your connection? Which now my connection name is cloud, the connection that I created in that JSON file, the config file, and my profile name, if we revisit it, if we visit my profile name, it's cloud upload for the cloud.
Okay.
So then I type here cloud upload, and then if I hit enter, same idea. It listed all of the 7 files based on what was found in the JSON file that with the list of files. Ask me for confirmation, continue the process, and I will say yes. And then we'll upload those files to the cloud. Once this is finished, then 7 files of 7 completed. Then we can go to the cloud environment, which is here. Let's go back to the analytics services. And these are the applications like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go to the catalog and filter myself as owner, choose the applications. And so these are the applications. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those 7 applications that were just uploaded to the cloud. Nice. So it's simple to use. Some people get scared of command line, but it's really simple to use. And it's, we found in a lot of customers, also internally, because as partners, we have everything. We have the Click Cloud, different tenants. Yep. And sometimes we move one thing from one tenant to another. Not sometimes, a lot of times. And we have even tenants for like the capacity, like the new tenants for capacity. We have different prems. We have click views still. So we have everything also internally. So even for us, this is very helpful. But we have some customers, some big customers who are using this, and it improves their process very much. The idea is you spend less time doing this manual work and more time doing like analytical decision-making strategy, other type of work.
Very nice. And I like the flexibility, and it could be a little bit scary thinking about that command line, but when you think about that flexibility, that it could be on-prem dev, on-prem test, on-prem prod, cloud this, cloud that, different tenants.
Yes, and you don't have to
offer such flexibility to you. The file naming things I like, because I would probably then put them, like, obviously you only pulled your personal profile apps, but if I was just backing up everything, then I could say, hey, what stream were these in? And you could edit that JSON file if there's some apps that you don't want to put into the cloud, or if you want to take just the healthcare apps, the healthcare ones go to this cloud, the finance ones go to someplace else.
Absolutely, yeah. And you don't have to type the commands all the time. I mean, you can have like a batch file with everything ready to go, and then just call it once we have, or you can have an external process like an automation or something, passing parameters and calling this, because the command line, it gives that flexibility.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I like it. And so no UI wrapped around it, but that gives you an awful lot of flexibility. If you want to add a UI, add a UI.
Yes, exactly.
So great stuff. So basically, between us goofing off, in less than 30 minutes, you showed us where the app was. You could download it. You get a simple directory. You edit the information. You can get the help information from it. And you configured it and you ran it live here on a demo, and that's all I could ever ask for, is that we get into the real nitty and the gritty, versus just seeing a marketecture slide. So that's usually the type of people that are watching this anyway. So if you go ahead and stop your screen sharing, we can just talk for a few more minutes. I like this. I think it offers great, even if it's just backup, use it as an automated backup, which is nice. Again, you could then put them in wherever directories you need to for different reasons. And you could have lots of different profiles out there to do these things because it is a decentralized world, right? It's you could have a whole lot of different things involved here
Absolutely, yeah.
with these environments these days, which I love because it creates a whole lot of roles that are a whole lot different than just the old mom and pop IT shops that had one role. You did everything, right? When I was the ClickView guy, I was the ClickView guy. I did everything. And nowadays you may have people who are just good at administration. They take care of these things, easy breezy. They don't need to know anything about Click necessarily. And then you got guys who are just your data architecture guys, your data modelers. They don't need to know anything about Click Cloud. They're still continuing to do their transformations, either on-prem or in ClickView even, to build the data files, which I think is awesome. And you can handle all that moving of all those moving parts. I think are nice. Again, it is a free trial. You got a week to use it. It should take you about 30 minutes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Looking at the examples, if you know anything about JSON, you'll understand those squiggly brackets. You just copy and put a comma, and you can have as many as you need, which is kind of the beautiful thing about JSON is you just keep repeating it and changing some values. And so that should work well. And what happens if people try this and then they get stuck and they're like, something's not working? Can they get help even while they're doing the trial?
Yeah, contact us and we'll be happy to help, to support. We at IPC, and I know it sounds like a sales pitch, but I'm not a salesperson. Actually, I'm terrible at sales. So I'm saying this as an honest a value that we have. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm with IPC for 19 years. We truly believe that our relationship with the customer should be a partnership, not just milking that call until it gets dry. No, we believe in a partnership because we believe in customers for life. We have customers that they keep coming back. I mean, the first customer that I work at IPC before Click is still a customer. Actually, they never implemented any sort of like advanced BI or anything, but they're still a customer because they believe the type of partnership we provide. So we're not a kind of customer. No, we only provide you support after you. No, we're flexible. We want to help.
Beautiful.
Because that's the kind of relationship we bring to our personal lives, but also to our professional life. So, and not a sales pitch, as much as it sounds like. Our customers can tell if I'm lying or not, but I know they want.
No, and that's if I thought you were those types, I wouldn't have had you on the show.
Yeah.
My relationship with you hasn't been for 20 years, but it's been for most of that. And I've seen it as a customer of Click and a customer of IPC. So I know you guys are there. You guys are thorough. You guys are in the long-term relationship business. And you're building the tools that are needed out of necessity for the customers and for yourselves as consultants managing those products. So, Igor, again, I want to thank you. I can't thank you enough for sending me several pictures to choose from, and one of them being a steampunk picture, man. Dude, I have literally like 500 steampunk images I generate because I had fun with the details and the cool look and aesthetic of that art style. So very cool.
It's interesting that besides all of our common interest in AI and Click, I found another common interest we have, which is steampunk. static and yeah, funny.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, it was a
Absolutely.
pleasure. Anytime you want to talk about other things, or I'd love to talk about AI and like the impact that on society and things like that, outside of just business, but like overall, I'm here. Always
We'll have to
available.
do that, man. I'm thinking there's another
Yeah.
guy out there, Robert's feedback. Hint, hint,
Hmm.
hint. Maybe I'll set up
Hmm.
like a multi-person Dorkcast where we can talk about AI healthcare innovation and trust in AI. And there's a few other people like Stephen Redmond, who I think would be interested in participating in a call like that, where we're just shooting the breeze about stuff, and
Yeah.
people can take it or leave it. So, well, buddy, I hope you
All right.
have a great day. And for everyone else, this is the Click Dork telling you, like I always do, I hope that you have a great day.
Okay. You too.